So, Australia has banned David Icke, and they are trying to label him as an anti-Semite, as the title says there, clashes over the Holocaust. But let's hear him defend himself in his own words.
Where do these accusations that you're anti-Semitic come from then? You've got famously controversial views, including that there are reptilian lizard people living amongst us and so forth. Where do these claims of anti-Semitism stem from?
What happens is you can name 90% of people in a book who are not Jewish and 5–10% who are. And instead of saying, well, you know, in every community, in every culture, in every income bracket, you're going to have the same range of people. You're going to have lovely people, you're going to have okay people, and you're going to have a few psychopaths and manipulators. The problem is, I can say that about Chinese manipulators, I can say it about American manipulators, British manipulators, French manipulators, as I do, but you name anyone who's Jewish and immediately you're an anti-Semite. No, I don't care if they're outer Mongolian. I care about what they're doing. And producing the evidence for that. That's what it's about. And this is a way of shutting down legitimate investigation. If I am exposing the Italian mafia, am I condemning all Italian people? Crazy.
Now, to go on from there, look, David Icke, to be honest, I mean, he's kooky, but he is harmless. His conspiracies, you can go check out his Wikipedia, that it probably doesn't say it in exactly the context that he likes, but it'll go over some of them there, talking about different dimensions, the reptile people that he goes on about, brotherhood, whatever, Saturn moon matrix. I mean, from what I can see and understand is that he doesn't ever sort of go on about the Holocaust. He doesn't really go on to talk about Jews at all, or anything to do with that. I'm sure he's probably got some stance on Israel itself, in terms of Palestinian relations and those kinds of things, which may get him in a bit of trouble depending on who you talk to. But I mean, you can go on and you can see other views here. He does not deny the Holocaust. The way the Jewish people, and this is what he said, the way the Jewish people in Nazi Germany were treated by the Nazis is grotesque, horrific, and beyond comprehension. He also then goes on to say, to self-identify with race, let alone be racist, is the ultimate misunderstanding of the nature of reality. So, in another interview, he goes on sort of more about what he means there. And he says, it says here, Mr. Icke in the past has been accused of thinly veiled anti-Semitism with his allegations that the world is run by a secret cabal of lizard men. He rejects this. It's also irrelevant, he says. Our bodies exist to give us experiences, and therefore the color of this body you are having an experience through, or its bloody race, or its religion, or its history, is all a load of crap to me. It's irrelevant. Anyone who self-identifies with their color, with their labels, has completely lost the plot of reality. But he goes on to say this whole kind of Aryan supremacy and black supremacy and all this stuff is a load of utter garbage. It is complete confirmation that the people that are pushing that belief system have no clue what reality is or what they ultimately are, which is a consciousness having an experience through a particular body. And he goes on to say that it's the same with sexuality. If you're a man or a woman, it's just an experience of consciousness. He isn't an anti-Semite. He isn't a racist. Some of it has to do with, I guess you would say, the Rothschild sort of conspiracy that he does sort of link things to. They happen to be Jews. But you can clearly see that just because that just because these people are Jews, it's got nothing to do with that. It's more to do with these people and their, international finance. And he talks about others as well. But it's just, of course, someone like the Rothschilds having so much money, and they do have quite a thick history. All you have to do is go on to their Wikipedia page and you can see all the different mansions they own, all the deep history that they have, going back, linking through banking families, as they call it, and those kinds of things. But it's got nothing to do with anti-Semitism. I mean, the guy isn't racist. He isn't sexist. He isn't anti-Semitic. He doesn't deny the Holocaust quite clearly. He doesn't have anything against really anyone. It's just his own little conspiracies, and you can hear him talk for 4 hours if you want to pay for it. So to ban him, to be honest, just seems ridiculous. And in this article here from the Sydney Morning Herald, it goes on to say that basically a Labor candidate here is, saying that the minister has finally made the right call and succumbed to pressure. He also tries to link it to a rally that was held in St Kilda, which obviously the man has nothing to do. So whether you think it was a neo-Nazi rally or not, that has nothing to do with David Icke. He wasn't even in the country. He didn't talk about it, doesn't support it. So to try to link the two together is stupid. It's also they're just doing it to sort of, to ruin his name there, to link the two together. So it's got here, it says there that the Liberal candidate has been quietly lobbying Mr. Coleman, which is the immigration minister, to cancel Icke's visa. And his adherent views have no place in Australia. And she said that the decision was welcome and affirms the government's steadfast support for Australia's Jewish community. But then it goes on to say in the bottom of the article that the seat that she's currently in, it's held by the outgoing Labor MP and also has a large Jewish population, and it'll be highly contested in a three-cornered race with the Greens in the upcoming May election. So this is sort of some form of plea to, I guess, for support for a majority Jewish area, or I don't know if it's majority Jewish. It could just have a large portion of them. But a Jewish woman goes on to say, "I've seen Icke 3 times. He has never mentioned Jews. I have seen hundreds of hours of online. Never once mentioned any Holocaust. As a Jewish person, I'm so angry. These unelected clots do not speak for Jews, and all they do is fester resentment that becomes anti-Semitism. This is wrong on so many levels, never mind Orwellian." So she's basically trying to make the point that if you try to say, okay, we're banning him because he has a slight criticism of Jews, which he doesn't, but let's say that the headlines are true, then to go on and say, well, that group has now come out and lobbied the government to ban him, that will cause anti-Semitism. That'll say, wait a minute, if you criticize these small group of people, you'll be completely banned from a country. And look, I don't know, does she have a point? Does she not? I mean, I can see where she's coming from, that the slight mention of Jewish people and then suddenly you're banned from a country, it honestly, it would, in some people's eyes, fester anti-Semitism. So basically, the government has done all this to, try to pander to a small group because of the upcoming election. And in all honesty, it's probably going to cause some anti-Semitism, because if you dislike Jews, you would then say, see, if you criticize them, they have so much power that you can be banned from an entire country. So in the end, it just causes more anti-Semitism, which is what they didn't want to happen. But those are my thoughts. The guy, to sum it up, the guy isn't a racist. He does have kooky conspiracy theories. about reptiles. And to be honest, I thought he more talked about, pedophiles, and I know about the reptiles, but he also talks about, pedophiles being in the government and Hollywood and things like that. The guy isn't racist. The guy isn't anti-Semitic. He isn't sexist. You've got nothing to worry about, and he's harmless. So if you want to watch his stuff, I'm sure there's probably lots on YouTube, but you won't be seeing him in Australia.